Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to a thorough Thursday. You know, we're going to be learning some things too. So I got to say thought-filled because I love to be filling my thoughts with new information. So welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. You know, this is exciting for me because I have an amazing guest in the building today. We got David Long, y'all, owner of Supporting Visions. He's going to be telling us about the work they do, how they've been bringing solutions to folks through the business. I'm so excited to hear all of the backstory and everything that they have going on. But you know, I get to start with you, okay? You right there. It is time for you to participate. You go ahead and share this show with folks who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on the Day with Trae. And you know, if you can't watch the show, you can still listen to it, right? Yes, we are available anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find us everywhere on all the platforms that host podcasts. There's like 200 of them, y'all. There's a lot. So you'll find us there. Well, before I get into it with David, I want to say there's something really special about service businesses. And one of the things that I have been able to really experience by being intentional and having a specific focus about where my dollars go to my community, to circulating my monies locally, to being really specific about the things that I buy for myself. You know, there's some things where I'm like, wow, you can find that, you know, Black folks make toilet paper and toothpaste and deodorant and all of these things that we use every single day of our lives. But it's beautiful to be able to find those folks locally, right? And so there's something about, you know, product businesses, but then you get into services. And for me, there are services that you get to choose, like maybe, you know, facial or massage, or, you know, for some of us, our manicures, our pedicures, right? Where we're spending those dollars on service businesses. Some services we get to choose. Others are kind of chosen for us, right? And that's really based on maybe medical condition or other things that make you have to get a specific type of service. Well, I will say that it's so great to be embedded in community where I've been able to figure out who my doctor is going to be and being able to make that choice specifically to have a private care doctor who does her own private pay on a membership basis. And that was because I've been in community, y'all, finding these folks, being intentional about where I'm spending my dollars. You know, service businesses really require, you know, great clientele in order for there to be longevity and sustainability. And that means we have to not only spread the word when we find these amazing business owners, but we also need to be intentional. Where are your dollars going? You know, it's Black August. We are supporting Black businesses. Have you been doing a deep dive this month about the money that you are spending? Have you been tapping into my good sis Besa show, Back to Besa, so you can learn about some of these amazing Black business spotlights they've been doing? I mean, ultimately, there's so many different ways to find this information. Now, of course, you could go to Google, you could ask Google to do the search for you, but because we are so embedded in community, and I mean we in terms of like Pacific Northwest, there are multiple opportunities to be in space with local business owners, seeing their products, experiencing their services. So ultimately, I'm asking you to do that. Be intentional about your dollars. Be intentional about where you're spending them. Find the ways to connect with these amazing business owners and those who are providing amazing services in our communities. You know, even here on the Day with Trae, I've been amazed by some of the solutions that folks are bringing to businesses, to institutions, to initiatives through their business. Service businesses are not just about personal care services. We're also talking about data solutions, technology solutions, expansion, right? There's so many things that we can be intentional about in terms of embedding ourselves in the local economy, y'all, and supporting some of these great businesses. So as we're rounding out August, Black August and Black Business Month, I'm really excited to have David Long joining me up next after this short break to tell us about his business and how he's crafting solutions for others. Y'all don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is David. Hi, David.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Well, we were together at the Black Business Leadership Conference, and I know you've been, connected to the Ruds Rub initiative as well. But now I get to hear about your backstory and what got you to opening your business. Tell us a little bit more.
Born and raised Seattleite, and I've been in business my whole life. And so I've been very blessed to have a lot of success in sales. And I realized that I was helping a lot of big businesses make a lot of money. And there's a lot of people that have businesses that have a great passion, but they're not doing very well. So I decided to take my expertise in sales and start to work with business owners to help them become better. Really, I'm a sales training, sales coaching, direct sales business, but the whole goal is to help entrepreneurs and business owners grow their business in any way I possibly can.
Well, so I'm telling you, there's a theme that I'm experiencing. And I think once you have some levels of success, with big corporations, I love seeing people say, now let me turn that focus in on my community. What am I doing to help these businesses the same way that I've been helping these major corporations? And it's a beautiful thing because oftentimes our smaller mom and pop businesses, they don't have the capital or the connections to get an expert like yourself to help their business grow. How are you connecting with businesses to do this work?
It's actually pretty amazing. So I work with Tabor 100, for example, as a technical assistant. I work with the Urban League and their ECCO program as actually a student, and now actually kind of helping some of the other business owners. And then I just basically network. I participate in as many events that I possibly can. I'm learning how to become more of a public speaker, to get myself out there, to be more available. But recently, it's really been a lot of work with the Tabor 100 organization. They're allowing me to help businesses directly, and then also just really talking to people. I realized that being here my whole life, knowing a lot of people that have businesses, I can just give advice without actually having to charge people. I'm in the process of right now starting a twice a week kind of a call. I'm going to invite business owners to come on a little Zoom call, or if they can't do Zoom, or Google Meet, whatever it might be, and meet me for like 30 minutes to ask questions, meet other business owners. So whatever I can possibly do to make sure that I'm out and about, I'm in the view, in people's eyesight, I guess you would say, because a lot of times people, they know they need the help, they know they want to work with someone, but they don't know who to call. It's not really like a service that you can just look up real fast and be like, who's going to help me grow my business or get more sales? So right now I'm trying to stay as active as I can in the public eye so people know they can reach out to me first and foremost, and then partner with great nonprofit organizations like Tabor and Urban League so I can become a resource to their partners.
Yeah, this is really special too, because I think a lot of times businesses don't know what they need. So being able to go to a place like Tabor or Urban League and say, I know that I'm starting, I have, my ideas off the ground, maybe I need some help and support in some ways that I can't identify, but I think what I want to do is good, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially, I want to provide something that's great. And so I love that you're being able to bring your expertise into these arenas. Tell us more about the experience you're having with those partnerships, because I think oftentimes like folks think, oh, I'm like a consulting style business means that you have to go out and get all these clients, but partnership is key to that, right?
Yeah, very much so. So I'm realizing that there's a lot of resources and organizations that want to help businesses, especially since Mayor Bruce Harrell and the other different initiatives that have been kind of pushed within the city of Seattle and the state of Washington. So they're giving access to funds to organizations to help small businesses and basically just show up. And I know it sounds unique, but I've been going to Tabor now for a couple of years. And even when I didn't have my own business, I participated in every single monthly meeting. If there was something that I could go learn, I would show up. And again, by being there and being available to have conversations and then networking, one thing that's pretty amazing since COVID is that, people are actually talking to each other a lot more, especially small businesses. People are reaching out to each other. People are gathering more, right? COVID was horrible, but at the same time, when we got out of COVID, it made people start to work together more. And so if you have a company that you feel can provide service, and I guess that's the key, you have to have the heart. I can honestly say that I truly have a desire to help as many people as I possibly can. God's kind of put it on my heart to be of service. And when you come in with the mindset of how can I be of service, you're going to find ways of being of service, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to be out. And again, it doesn't have to be anything great. A lot of times I think some of the biggest impact I've had is just having a conversation with someone and saying something that really helped them get to a level that they knew they wanted to get to. And I, didn't really have an intention, but it was a matter of just having a good conversation, listening, and then actually giving some advice of, experience. Life is unique because as we get older, we have a lot of life experience. And a lot of times people kind of belittle their life experience and don't want to share it. But we've all been through something as we get, in our years, and you just talking to somebody about something that you went through can help them get further where they are because, they may not have gone through it yet or they're going through it right at that time. So I really feel like being open to learning, being of service, and then participating in as many groups, activities, and networking opportunities as possible is really helping a lot.
Well, it says a lot too. I mean, I'm talking often on this show about what it means to be in community, what that looks like, how it manifests essentially itself. And you're absolutely right. Just being present sometimes is the thing that's necessary because you never know who you may run into if you're at one of these events or even if you're just at like Tabor 100, like you said. These spaces that have been cultivated for these kinds of networking opportunities and connection is so key. So I love that you're, deeply in bed there. And also too, I mean, we just saw the Black Business Leadership Conference, 3rd annual one, over the past couple of weeks. Tell us about your experience at conferences like that and being connected kind of to, a lot of the initiatives that the Black-owned business excellence is putting forward.
It's pretty amazing because, so again, when I was working for different companies, I was always participating with BOBE, Black-owned business excellence. I would participate again in just events, and I never really felt like I was being able to bring anything, right? Because I was there representing someone else, knowing that I had things I could share, but they were kind of outside of what I was doing at the time. But again, just showing up, right? Like there's the BOBE, they meet every Friday at 10 a.m. online. So there's really not a reason for people not to participate. If you have an interest, and I guess that's the key, is you have to have an interest to want to learn and share your information. And even if it's just being there to see who you can meet, it's great, but just show up. I personally, being a born and raised Washingtonian, a lot of times I always felt like I didn't need to show up. Oh, people don't need to hear from me. Oh, I probably know all these people. but that's good. You should show up, because even though you might know the people, even though you might see them around, in a specific area of time in a conversation, your insight could really help someone, right? And also, there's just great leaders that we get to follow. I love Jennifer Ness, Lewis Rudd, and people like that really give their all. They kind of make you excited to have to step up, like, okay, I can do this too, right? Like, and again, having children myself, we have to be an example for the next generation. Right? There's a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds that don't know. There's a lot of people that they don't know. There's a lot of circles that they're not in, right? And so you can talk about it, but when you show up and you're active, you're showing that it's happening, and you're actually becoming the change. That's one of my big themes for this year, is be the change, right? Like, don't just talk about the change. Don't dream about it. Don't like, oh, I wish. Stop wishing, right? Start being active. Show up. And I live on the east side. I don't like coming over to Seattle a lot of the times. I ain't gonna lie, I don't like it. But you have to step out of your comfort zone, right? And I guess that's another big thing, is step out of your comfort zone. Be okay with being vulnerable to finding out something new about yourself, and then how you can be of value. And those kind of things have actually meant a lot, and they've been working. And I can honestly say that it works.
Wow.
Right. It really works.
It's a great story that you tell. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I agree. I'm always saying when people are like, well, what's going on? I don't see anything going on in Seattle. I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm connected in a way that's like, I'm out here, I'm a part of community, I'm going and attending certain things, I'm connecting with folks that I am like, that's not true.
Right.
Like, there's probably too much sometimes. I'm like, whoa, there's like 7 different things to choose from this weekend that may just be in the Black community.
Right.
And that's saying a lot. And so I think so much happens in space. And, through COVID, I think a lot of us got so used to this online environment. And, now is the time, like, folks are finally, first off, folks are ready to break out of it, right? After kind of like 2 years, essentially, of some kind of confinement. But then, I think people really got accustomed to it. So now there's people that are needing to remember those connections that were happening in community outside. I mean, we didn't really know what Zoom was unless you were really like business, that's what you did.
Right.
But a lot of folks got used to it during COVID. So I really appreciate what you're saying and your perspective. I think it's a fresh look on being present, making a difference, and how being in space with others is really where connection and relationship can begin. So that's beautiful to hear. Now, you're talking about helping businesses grow. Give us some examples of what that could look like. Because I know you talked about your background in sales. A lot of folks are like, I'm trying to increase my sales. I'm trying to increase my clientele.
Right.
What types of things are you guiding folks through in that process?
I deal a lot about relationships. I'm a relationship salesperson personally. Products are great. So if you have a great product, that's awesome. And one thing I tell my clients is, like, I have a client of mine that makes these custom handbags, and there's a lot of handbags. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of handbags, but what makes you a little bit different? How can they connect to you so that they're going to want to work with you? That's one of them. And another one is following up and being professional. Those are two things. I started a YouTube channel, and I talk about things like this because it's really important for people to realize that, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. That saying is true to this day. And another thing is, when you talk to someone, follow up with them, right? Like, follow up is so key for any business. And then also, I know you probably had DeMarlon on here before, also making sure that you track what you're doing, right? Like, especially us within our community, a lot of times people will get a lot of people's business cards, or you get a lot of people's names, and then all of a sudden you just have a pile of business cards and a whole bunch of names in your cell phone, right? But have you sent a message to this person? Have you sent them an email? Do you come at them professional, right? Like, making sure that we represent ourselves in a way that people are gonna want to choose to work with us. Just because you're in the community and just because you're from the community doesn't mean that people are gonna want to choose to work with you. You hope that they do, but you have to make sure that, if they have options, make yourself the best option.
Yeah.
And that's by showing up, being on time, being punctual, following up, just doing the things that I find. And again, I say them in a way at times where I forget that it's not second nature to most people. And then also asking for the business, and these are just, I guess, some of the things, but it's, in my mind, they seem very elementary. But for a person that's creative, the selling side a lot of times can be hard. because they're not a salesperson.
Right.
They have a great idea, they have a great invention, they have a great product. Now it's like, okay, how do I get people to know who I am, to choose my product, right? And then, of course, also I have to focus a lot on social media, right? And making sure that people can find you. But again, the follow-up and things like that, those are a lot of the areas that I focus on. And then also, how do you partner? You know, partnership is pretty amazing, especially within our community. There's so many talented, amazing people within our community that you can find someone that's going to be better at what you're not good at, and then they can help you grow, right? And then working with people. You know, it's growing up, you know, my motto for my first marketing company in the early 2000s was making your business known, because the internet was still somewhat new. And that's making your business known is still very important. But knowing where you're weak and having somebody else that's strong there come and help you and work with you, not only does it bring them business, but it helps your business grow faster. So those are a few of them. There's a lot, and I love to talk to people about it. And don't get me started, because I'll, you know, I get hyped about it. But yeah, there's a lot of it. But those are a few of the key ones. Is if I could say anything to anybody, make sure that you follow up, make sure that you're professional, and make sure that you show up.
Yeah. Well, David, those are some great principles for any business owner to stand on. And thank you for the work that you're doing and being intentional to bring your expertise into the community, because it's so necessary when we talk about the sustainability of our businesses. And we know that our businesses, our small businesses, are such a backbone to the financial institution in America. So I really appreciate you bringing your expertise into the community. And thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Y'all, wow, what a great way to hear about a business that's bringing solutions to others. Y'all know I'm going to wrap it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Disenrollment is a situation whereby people whose birthright to be indigenous is being stolen from them by politicians that have been elected to lead.
Today, the latest or last chapter of the saga concerns the threatened physical ejectment of as many as 21 Nooksack families from their homes.
I think it come about by hatred for our family. That's what it's all about.
Our bloodline is still here. You know, they can't get rid of us.
In your 40s, your body break down.
The comedy of Leslie Jones.
You trying to have sex after 46? Put my leg down! Put my leg down!
The hilarious Leslie Jones.
I got osteoporosis.
Don't miss Leslie Jones.
Thank you so much.
Here on Back to Basa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Basa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I got to give David Long a huge shout out. This is really exciting for me because we keep seeing this theme, y'all. And if y'all have been watching The Day with Trae, you are experiencing it alongside me. This theme of folks who brilliant minds, brilliant talent and expertise. And they're like, you know what? I'm tired of making everybody else rich but my community. And they're bringing it back into community, y'all. I mean, this is such a great theme to experience, especially during Black Business Month and Black August in general. It's just beautiful because honestly, it's so necessary. And y'all have heard me say this, but it reminds me of the building of the towns of the Roaring Twenties. You know, we talk a lot about Black Wall Street, but we know there were so many different Black Wall Streets, and it was because essentially folks said, look, all of the expertise that I've gained and was using elsewhere, I'm gonna bring here. I'm gonna pour it into this centralized pot. And that centralization is what is necessary again today. You know, we see these signs of times just recur over the lifespan of time. And it's beautiful to be witnessing and to be a part of this time right here where we are having ourselves coming together, pouring in to a collective pot of brilliance for our community to thrive. And there may be still a lot of us who make money helping others thrive. So I'm just encouraging you, if you got time to give some volunteer hours, give just a couple free consultations during the week or maybe the weekend, you know, tapping into community with the expertise that you have. You may not have to start a full consulting business yet or leave your actual, you know, career right now, but the idea that you have something that could be beneficial to those in our community as we look to make sure that we have strong staples in our community when it comes to businesses, that these businesses don't live for just one generation, but they're multi-generational, right? They begin to create and provide generational wealth to families. That is the kind of institutions we want to continue to build in our communities, not just, you know, something that kind of, oh, it died with mom and pop. No. Bring your children up in your businesses. If you are a business owner, make sure your kid understands exactly what you're doing in that business. Gauge their interest. Get them a little bit excited. Let them know. Pull back the curtain. Do what you can so that your children can also be a part of your business growth and development. You know, this idea that like, oh, I just let folks do what they want, but we need to bring it back in. And I'm always telling my kids, I want you to go out, get the experience, the knowledge you want. If that's school, trade school, college, whatever it is, get the knowledge and find a way to pour back in. Pour it back into our communities. And David was such a great example of that, y'all. So y'all know I'm inspired. I want you to be inspired because you too can find your way to tap in, pour back in, and be a part of the solution. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. And I'll be back with you tomorrow, actually wrapping up the week, right? On Friday with all of you. And you know, I'll see you then. Until then at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.